It's all early going. Obviously him and Draymond haven't squabbled in practice yet. That's coming in the next 3 weeks for sure. How are they after that moment? And if they're fine after that moment, it was the right move. It's the final third of really where we are. And by the way, maybe that's part of the NBA's all-star problem. Put it in the middle of your year. Or how about just cancel it, put out the list of all-stars, and just keep on playing through the week, for goodness sakes, instead of pulling it on down and making everybody angry at you. 27 games left in the season, Cyrus. They are sitting in position right now where I'm just looking at last year's standings, right? To be a 6 seed, which was the Suns last year. You needed to be at 49 wins. The Suns were a 6 seed at 49 wins. 20-7 in the remaining 27 games. If the Warriors go at a 20-7 clip, they're 48-34 and probably still in the play-in section of the bracket. They're probably 7 through 10 more than they are a 6. You might need 50 wins to be a 6 seed in the West this year. I don't know if they can get there. Do you think that they can go 20-7 in their remaining 27 games to get to 48-34 on the year?
For the remainder of the season, for these last 27 games, third easiest schedule. And when you look at the month of March in particular, and I covered this briefly in the last episode of Golden Days when Sophia Jones was with me, you look at March, and we're looking at a run of Philly, Charlotte, New York, Brooklyn, Detroit, Portland, not the most daunting Western Conference team, Sacramento, one of the lower Western Conference teams, a team of the Warriors, Milwaukee, the Warriors already beat them once, Toronto, Atlanta, Miami, New Orleans, San Antonio. That's your March schedule. That's 14 games where, worst case scenario, you're looking at 10-4. I really do believe that. If you want to pretend you're a real team, worst case scenario, you're going 10-4. So you're building 6 games in terms of climbing above 500 right there. I'm very optimistic. If this Warriors team is real, we're about to find out, because this schedule will tell you if they're pretenders or contenders.
It really felt like the Warriors were turning a little bit of all right, we can take them more seriously corner, thanks to the fact that they're 3-1 in the 4 games that we've seen with Jimmy Butler. Now, let's be totally honest. In that 3-1 stretch, you had 2 wins that almost, okay, they count because they're on the road, of course, but that's a terrible Bulls team. And that was a Giannis-less, Chris Middleton just got traded, scrambling to figure out what they even got tonight, Milwaukee Bucks team. So it's hard to put a lot of faith in that. But I do like the way Butler has complemented what the Warriors do. It feels like everyone has found their own sort of level on the Warriors. They're assigned a little bit more to the position they're better at. And, again, I like Brandon Pajemski coming off the bench as your starting 2 guard. I don't know. Is he going to start the rest of the way? It maybe looks like that. So if it's going to be that, then be that. Like, stick with something here. Make a rotation that I can depend on. And these players have an expectation of what's being asked from them night in, night out. The confusion that the Warriors, I think, bake into their own game plan with their own rotations is something that has to go away in the remaining third of this year. And then the guy that clearly needs to show up is Jonathan Kuminga. Cyrus, he hasn't played since January 4th. I mean, he has been out a long time. Young players are supposed to heal faster than older players.
Yeah.
Hopefully this isn't a season-altering level injury where even if he's back, he's not moving, jumping like he used to. Because this guy, I think Jonathan Kuminga is your X factor. I mean, anyone who's been watching the Warriors has to say that. Like there was some column saying Jonathan Kuminga is the Warriors X factor. Yeah, no yeah, that's true. He is
brilliant analysis.
He's the guy who's either going to get this thing across the finish line in the right direction, or it didn't cross the finish line nearly like you wanted it to. And because Kuminga was either unavailable or underperformed, that's why. Buddy Hield, you can either make this whole thing work, or you will be part of the reason why it didn't work. And I really hope it goes in the right direction for you. I'm not rooting against Buddy Hield, but I've been sick and tired of him missing what were, open threes. Forget the contested shots. He's the guy who's not supposed to miss his open threes.
Right.
And he's been that guy.
When it comes to Buddy, the stat that reflects who he is as a player that's most accurate is his shooting as a catch and shoot player versus off the dribble. As a catch and shoot player, and that's the version we saw mostly in that opening stretch of the season when the Warriors started 12-3. He shoots 40% from deep as a catch and shoot player. That's solid, right? And I think that's
he's supposed to be the Klay Thompson replacement on the catch and shoot.
Yes. And that aspect he has delivered. The problem is off the dribble, meaning when he's trying to create his own shot, he shoots 29% from three. And other teams have figured out that stat, and they're preventing Buddy from getting open for those catch and shoots, and they're forcing him to be a playmaker. And that's a weakness of Buddy Hield's. Now, the good news is with Jimmy Butler here, the opposing defenses can no longer play this very simple scheme that we've been seeing, which is basically triple Steph and prevent Buddy from getting those catch and shoots. That's been the entire defense that the Warriors have faced this season. And it's largely worked because you're triple teaming Steph. You're taking the most effective version of Buddy out, and you're daring the Warriors to beat you with what's left, and what's left suck balls until now. Now you've got a second superstar next to Steph, and we're immediately seeing teams getting punished for that approach. I'm glad the trade didn't work out, because if Kevin Durant said, yeah, I want to come to the Warriors, if these reports are true, Kuminga's gone, you're giving up a lot of future draft capital instead of just one pick, and you're not winning a title with that move. Like you're not. And I actually think Jimmy Butler is a better fit. I like the fact that you're getting Butler and Kuminga instead of just Kevin Durant. I prefer this trade. I'm glad the Durant trade did not happen. What are your thoughts?
I am too. I kind of am too. I was a little worried about Jimmy, but again, it's all early going. You know, obviously him and Draymond haven't squabbled in practice yet. That's coming in the next 3 weeks for sure. How are they after that moment? And if they're fine after that moment, it was the right move. And I also do think that there is an element of finally Draymond and Curry really understanding like this is it.
Yeah.
This is our last bite at the apple. This is the last big bite we get. Maybe we get a chance to nibble it next year, but after that, all bets are off.
Yeah.
So
agreed.
Again,
they're very self-aware.
The time to have Kevin Durant on this team was from the day he left the Golden State Warriors through the day he was traded to the Phoenix Suns.
Yeah.
That was the time to have Kevin Durant. He tapped out of what was a great situation to find his own situation, which put him in a worse basketball situation than he could have ever imagined. And then this whole thing in Phoenix, which like when it was coming together on paper, it was like, uh-oh, here come the Suns. This just shows you how little bit of a leader Kevin Durant really is. As a basketball player, you will never find a guy more tooled up with a bigger skill set or better body to play the game with. He is literally a unicorn, but he ain't a leader. He ain't a captain of shit. He's not. Whatever that DNA that Steph has in him that makes him the quiet leader who can literally move mountains just by looking at him funny, Durant doesn't have that in him. And look, not everybody's supposed to be a leader. Not everybody is a natural leader. I'm not holding it against him, but Kevin Durant isn't the follow me, I know the way guy that everything about him, just looking at him, you would assume, oh, this is the guy. Wherever he says we go, we go. No. You're better off following that shorter guy who just shoots a lot of threes. And he won a title before Durant and he won a title after Durant. And I can't help but notice that Durant hasn't won without Steph Curry. And that is why Kevin Durant swung the ball to him in the Olympics. Didn't throw it to wide open LeBron.
Kevin Durant could easily be known as the greatest Robin on a basketball team in NBA history, but he's proven he can't be that type A leader. Again, everywhere he's gone, the team has underperformed, underachieved, and Phoenix is included in that. Phoenix will likely not make the play-in this year with Kevin Durant as the team's possibly second best player, maybe best player.
So again, Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, and you're not a playoff team.
Exactly, that's alarming.
Everybody.
That's alarming. So I'm happy Jimmy Butler's here. We've seen evidence that when Jimmy Butler is happy, there are no issues. And we're getting a happy Jimmy. I think he's aware as well that he's come into a situation where they're all in. It's championship or bust, and he's never won a ring, so he's on board as well. Draymond has shown he can play with another type A guy in Chris Paul and not have issues. So I'm holding faith there that him and Jimmy Butler will not get into the scuffles that a lot of people are predicting, and I think there's a good reason for that. But I'm holding faith and hope that will not be an issue. And I'm excited, brother. I'm really pumped for what we're going to see for these 27 games. I'm encouraged. Draymond Green made the proclamation that everyone heard, which is he's boldly predicting they're going to win a championship. Most players, when they make those kind of predictions, you kind of go, whatever. Not him. He didn't make this level of prediction the last 2+ years. I take it seriously when he says it. What were your thoughts when you heard him say that?
Love the positive attitude. If you get out of the second round, I think it's gravy time right there. Anything beyond the second round, the Warriors are playing with house money, and I'm not going to get upset if they lose anything after that. They've taken a team that started like a gangbuster, then was dead on arrival, and if they can finish strong and make a push and play off Jimmy and everybody stays healthy along the way, no twisted ankles on
very important.
Anyone. Yeah, maybe muscle memory takes over. Maybe championship DNA, Tiger's blood, all that shit takes over. I don't know. I'm still worried. I'd be worried about the Nuggets and the Oklahoma City Thunder, who I think just going to whoop the shit out of you. Thanks for watching. Tune into the Damon Bruce Show live on YouTube every weekday at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific.